AITA for not getting to know sister when I don't have proof she is related to me. Note: Eng not my first language. I, F28, live with my mother, 53, and her husband, 49. I know my birth father, KC, over the phone, but don't really have the best relationship with him as he had decided he didn't want to raise me and stay with my mother when I was young. Several years later we slowly got in touch. We have an amicable relationship but don't talk now. Him saying a couple of years ago that his and his new wife's newborn baby Elizabeth, F, was a second chance really hurt me and damaged our relationship. But regardless, I had an issue a couple of years ago when a half-sister, Dakota, F16, contacted me. I have severe anxiety, depression, autism, anthropophobia and chronic insomnia. I have a very screwed up sleep schedule and tend to be a bit manic in some ways. Anyways, this girl contacts me through Facebook. This was around the rougher stages of me and my father's relationship. I was confused, but she had said that KC had told her about me and she wanted to know me. I wasn't really talking to my father, so I didn't know the whole story. I took her at her word and slowly started talking over texts. The reason I said starting is because I don't interact well with people, nor do I know how to act around them. Anyways, she would always text laters in 11 or 10 at night. As I usually was awake, this didn't come as a bad sign until later. It wasn't until she started asking more and more about my newborn half-sister that things got bad. I didn't know much about Elizabeth and at the time harbored some severe resentment to her and my father's family. Still, I didn't like how much she was obsessing over a baby. After a while I contacted KC. Apparently, Dakota wasn't proven to be my half-sister and her mother had just told her that KC was her father. Dakota and her mother had been harassing him to have a relationship with her but refused to get a paternity test. I ended up ending contact with Dakota and said not to contact me until a paternity test was taken. Later I was harassed by her mother and boyfriend. Now, I still suffer from chronic insomnia, and am very aggressive about my sleep when I get it. I have the Facebook and Messenger app, however they are usually inactive and I am not on them. A few days ago I had been up until 2:30 due to a fit of insomnia. I tend to just lay in bed and stare at the ceiling. When I finally got to sleep I was happy. I was on a Friday and I didn't have to do anything on Saturday. I was going to sleep all day, as long as my body would let me, and enjoy myself. However, at 4:27 my phone goes off. I didn't silence Messenger because I never use it unless of an emergency. I curse and rage but couldn't find my glasses. My cat knocked my case off and they fell out of the case and got kicked under my bed. And thus couldn't read my phone. My mother, who sleeps in the next room, heard me cursing and came to find out what was wrong. I said my phone went off and I can't read it. She helped me calm down as I get severely aggressive and moody if my sleep is interrupted. She read the post out loud before we both got furious. Dakota, now 22F, had texted me. She said she now goes by the name Beth and said she didn't care about our father but was contacting me and my two brothers, Lewis and Iden. She acted mournful and hurt due to Casey's dismissive actions and his lack of care but wanted a relationship with her siblings. Now at the time I was furious and angry. 1. It was 4:30 in the hashing morning. 2. My brothers are step-brothers. She has no actual relation to them. 3. I found her southern name change to be highly suspicious. Dakota and Beth are nowhere near similar enough to be a nickname and it's not her middle name. I grew annoyed and later on that day, I couldn't fall back to sleep. My plan was screwed up for my Saturday. Tried contacting KC. I did promise to talk to this girl if a DNA test was taken, so I was gathering information. I couldn't get a hold of him, so I contacted his father, my grandpa Cade, and asked him about this. He hadn't even know about Dakota or what had happened the first time. So I explained everything to him and said I couldn't get hold of KC. He got off the phone with me and decided to try and get a hold of KC himself, both for more info and he needed to call him anyways. After a few more hours KC called my mom. No, she didn't get a paternity test. No, his sons do not want to be contacted by this girl, and then he asked me to send a screenshot of my texts to him. He had the old ones already. The whole family was up in arms about this and furious. I was told not to block her, but don't talk to her. Later on I was wondering if AITA for taking this whole situation out of proportion due to being angry over my sleep. I'm normally a nice person, but when my sleep is involved, I hold grudges.